when clients come in and they are, they feel inspired by me, it motivates me to tell them my journey and almost motivates me more to keep going.
Okay, welcome to Bigger Than Hustle podcast, where I bring you real conversations with entrepreneurs on how they live their lives outside their business. Every week we deep dive into the energies, the disciplines, the motivations, the mindsets, and the habits that make them successful in their life, which in turn allows them to be successful in their business. Now, today I've got someone that's got introduced to me on my journey of life when I got married or before that. And she's, her energy that she gives off and the way she is, especially around her family and the way she lives her life is really interesting to me. And obviously she runs her own business. And what's quite interesting about her journey is that her influences around her, she didn't have big influences to start her own business. So this, that's something I want to go into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave no more minutes. I'm just going to introduce her. Her name is Joty. So hi Joty, how are you?
Hi, Bhavik. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Not at all.
Really excited and nervous, but...
And she is super nervous. She's told me that beforehand, so I told her, don't worry, to share your message, and I'm sure everything will be all right. So I'm just going to hand over to her. Joe, if you can give a little brief insight in your words about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Joty. In Leicester now, originally from Luton. I've been hairdressing for 30 years, sorry. Have 4 young kids. And what else could I say? Oh, there's a lot more. I'm sure Bhavik's going to put me in some questions.
I'm sure we'll get into it during this hour. So, something you said that, so you are a hairdresser, right? And you set this up, this business up a while ago. Now, earlier in the introduction, I mentioned that something that intrigued me was that when you set this business up, your beliefs back then, all right? So when you decided that, you had this skill, you were working and you thought, okay, I may be able to do this by myself. I don't need to be a part of another business or company. Maybe I can set this up myself. So can you tell me a little bit about that thought process when you decided that maybe, what you were doing beforehand and then what made you sort of step into your own sort of business?
Right, first of all, when I first moved to Leicester from getting married, obviously I didn't know Leicester at all. Mm-hmm. And I thought, obviously I need to get a job. I've always worked in central London, started off in London, worked in Luton and central London 21 years ago was my last job. Thereafter, moving to Leicester, being a smaller city, not knowing really anybody except family. And funny enough, actually, from asking Bersh about hairdressers in Leicester, and you happened to mention one of the sort of popular salons within that. So I thought, okay, I'll approach them. Worked there for a bit, and then obviously I had the confidence and the experience from being London and having worked sort of 10, 15 years of experience behind me already. I then obviously was working in the salon. Thereafter decided, obviously I was going to have children. So that was a big thing for me. It was the next step. And obviously falling pregnant first time around, I decided, okay, right, I'm going to leave the salon for maternity. And I got approached by a lot of clients who obviously said, oh, you can do your hair at home. But I never had the facilities or the space. So I thought, okay, fine, go from there. Left the salon, had my first child. I got approached by clients and I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. But I've got to work around my firstborn. So I set up a little area in my kitchen diner, put a mirror there. My husband supported me fully. He was working full time as well. But at the same time, I thought, God, how can I juggle this? I haven't got any facilities. It means I have to wash their hair in the bathtub. Okay, it'll work. And I carried on, and everything I juggled within the working was around my little one. Thereafter, I went back part-time to the salon, loved working in the salon, balanced the childcare and everything, had my third child. Thereafter, obviously, at this stage, I now had 3 kids under the age of 3. So you know, a lot to deal with and balance work, children, house, work, loads of things. So I had to give myself a nudge and think, right, okay, do you know what? I've got 3 kids. I'm working part-time as well and working at home. Something's got to give, which then I decided, right, I'm going to give up working for somebody else and just focus on the children. I still at this stage was working in my dining area. Clients kept coming. Had to make sure the children were sorted, house was tidy, because obviously with 3 young kids, you can imagine toys, everything everywhere. Made sure dinner was cooked, no smells, put fragrances on. Clients used to come and say, oh my God, you wouldn't think you had 3 kids, you're running a business, have you cooked? Yes, but it doesn't smell. I had to be professional, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of carried on and carried on. And because obviously I had to juggle the children as well and home life and the clients, it's just the way it was.
Yeah.
Carried that on. And then house got smaller. I was turning 40, decided to have our 4th child. I don't know if it was midlife crisis or just I love my husband always wanted more children, but I kind of like, oh no. But anyhow, decided to have our 4th child. Business still carried on at the same time. House got smaller, and then we decided, right, we've got to take a step. Next step was to move house, buy a bigger property, in regards that I am still going to work for myself. And then Sats, my husband, said, look, you know, if we are going to buy a property, don't do it from home. Don't get complacent in a little room. Got to do things differently. So yeah, mindset changed. And then obviously we had to pack up from our last property, and that all got delayed because it was coming between Christmas. So which only meant that I would have to then go mobile. So I think for about 1.5 years, I decided mobile. By this time, my children were at primary school, and my youngest was at nursery, and also I think I had the help from my mother-in-law as well. But yeah, having said that, once we moved, and then I went mobile, and then from the new property, we decided, right, we've got to find one of these rooms. What can we do? And decided, well, we need the space in the house, so garage we're not really going to use. Let's convert. And my mum gave a lot of ideas. So, you know, you can convert like this, but don't lose space and utilize the space as best as you can. So I thought, well, it's only me on my own going to be working. I'm not going to have any staff at the time anyway. I thought I had to just think logically. So then, yeah, we converted our part of our salon, our garage into a part salon with the workstation, equipped it all out and everything. And yeah, and thereon it's going to be 5 years I work from home and have a really good balance and a clientele. You know, I love it.
And I think what jumps out from the whole story, everything you've just talked about there, is initially, like you said, I think the decision was made based on other life circumstances. You know, like you said, you were growing a family and you were juggling a lot. You know, being a wife, being a mum, being someone who worked. You know, looking after the house. There were a lot of pressures on you, and something had to give. So it almost feels like that. You know, you wanted to carry on in terms of bringing in, using your trade, your skills, because you had clients. And I know a lot of people in your industry, you know, whichever service space it is, they like certain people, and when they like certain people, they don't actually want to, you know, start again and find a different hairdresser or find, because they, you know, they're happy with you, they know what you want to do. So what's quite good is that you had the confidence in your own ability to say, even if it's in my own kitchen, the main thing is that I know I can still look after them. I know I'm still, you know, working on my trade and being the best I can. So therefore, why are people not going to come? It doesn't make sense. And then when you sort of moved house and then you invested in a space in your current home so that clients could come, so you could lock out, you know, like the kids, you can lock out the house and you can be in your space where it's just you and your client, and you give, you know, a good experience. Like I said, it sounds like that was important to you, because that sort of shows who you are as a person as well. You know, you could have done it in the garden, you could have done it in the front yard, wherever, but that doesn't, you know, show you and your skills, and I suppose your own ethics as a person. Someone's gonna be coming in and paying money, so therefore you have to show the best you can, you know. And that's, I think, people that are looking to step into this path and look into that area, I think what's important from your story is that you just don't think about all the end steps. You know, you could have thought, okay, I haven't got, you know, a salon, I haven't got a room, I haven't got space, I haven't got anywhere to do, so I'm not going to do it. And I think a lot of people do think like that. And it's almost a case of, let me start on this road, just like what I've done here. Let me just start and let me see how it works out. And I always believe in that people buy from people, and if people like people and you are a people person, you're always going to be all right, especially in the trade you're in. What do you think?
Yeah, no, like I say, I'm a real people's person, always have been, and creativity as well. Obviously, that follows with the passion of being as a hairdresser, and using having this as this salon is one thing, but my background and having the ethics of business is not in my nature. I am the kind of person, give me my scissors, give me anything. I'm creative, I want to do it. I can't read manuals, texts and whatnot. Give me the job and I'll do it. And that is just me. So give me this room and I've got it. And this is how I work. And this is the way I operate. And that's what I love about it. It's the passion that I put into my work. Everybody walks through that door, you know, hence prior that I've still got them existing clients that I've done for the past 18, 19 years. And they still come to me regardless if they had to have their hair washed over a bathtub. In between, I had to change nappies. They still come. That's loyalty. I must be doing a good job. I am doing a good job, you know.
I think it's having, you know, those little things give you confidence in your own ability, and they give you the confidence to carry on. Because a lot of the time, like I said, there can be lots of hurdles, and especially as people like entrepreneurs and people that we run our own businesses, there are always things that are going to be in the way. There's always things that are going to happen that you think, shit, how do I deal with this? But somehow that hurdle will jump over, we'll go around it, we'll go on it, or we'll just pick the whole thing and just chuck it out of the way. Do you know what I mean? But we will find a way, because I think that's just the way we're designed. And what's quite interesting about your story is that you've not really had the people around you that you sort of like, that allowed you to be on this path. So what I mean by that is, like, your parents didn't have their own business, nor did your siblings or, you know, anyone that was around you. So what's quite interesting about your story, which is different to a lot of people I've talked to, you know, like, for example, my dad had his own business. You know, a lot of my cousins, relatives all have their own business. A lot of people I've talked to, either their parents had a business or someone close to them did, and that gave them the confidence to move into this. For you, it's completely different, because yours was a self move. You know, you didn't see it, you just saw it within yourself that you had to do this. Now, so anyone who's looking to start their own journey, and, you know, especially in this time where things are not very certain, people are living in fear, worrying about their own jobs, what advice would you say for people that maybe have a skill, maybe have a passion, they want to move forward, you know, tread their own path and help other people?
Oh, my belief is do it. Oh my God, it's so possible. Absolutely. You know, like you said, I don't have business background. Well, from my mum's side, obviously, you know, with with Massey, your mother-in-law as well, that side of business background, yes, we do have. But I think as growing up, you know, there was opportunities for my mum and dad to have business, but never had the confidence, didn't have the guts. We weren't risk takers. We were, even now, I don't think, you know, with my dad, it often used to say, oh, we should open this, do this. But I think it was that risk. We never, and for me, I think I just took the risk. My husband pushed me to say, yeah, you can do it. You've got it. You know, go out there and do it. And I think I got to a stage where I worked for a lot of employers for a long time. I can stand my ground. I can work for myself. I can do this. I've got the skills. I've got the experience. Then, you know, just do it. You know, so for anybody out there that has got skill, any passion, any hobbies or anything they want to fulfill, you can do it. And you know what, the perfect time right now, I'd say, with the situation we're in, opportunities to think and really work it out. You don't have to have, I never had a business plan. You know the whole startup of, oh, you need a business plan, you need to go and see your bank manager. I did nothing. I absolutely did nothing. I just got my clients in, did the job, earned the money, and you know,
and then worked it out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I do, and you know, I still haven't got business mindset. I'm so bad like that. But again, I get the job done and whatnot. And to be honest with you, this time that we have at this present moment has probably given me a little bit more insight as to, you know what, I need to change my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I change my thinking in a different way. You know, that yes, I do the hairdressing. At the moment, I'm not practically actively cutting hair, but there are other things I need to focus on, and this time is allowing me, should I say, to focus on the business side of things, you know.
And I think what's important by what you said there is that an analogy I read about, or I've seen somewhere, is about don't wait for all the lights to be green, because the lights are never all going to be green. Just get to the first light, work it out, and then move on. You know, like you said, even when I started my business, even though I have people around me, I've never done a business plan for any of the businesses I've done, right? It's almost been a case of, let me just do it, get a sort of idea and move forward with it. And I think that's having the confidence, but also I think the more you think about something, the more it sits in your head, the more the fear can creep in. And the more the fear creeps in, then you're less likely to try and move in, because it will be a case of why you can't do, as opposed to saying, I've got this little 1% that says to me, I can do it. And like I said, being surrounded by the right people and having the conversations to step up your own thinking and give you the confidence, even if you don't have that with you right now, there's, find them. And like I said, if you want to set up something and you're not sure, I have a skill, I have a skill to make tables out of wood. That's my skill, all right? But I don't know, where to get money from, or how to source supplies, but a lot of the time you just work that shit out. And then if you don't work it out, get someone in that can work it out for you, or learn. And that's how we've all done it. I mean, you've been in business for a while, same here. And if I didn't know, I'd ask someone, looked on the internet. Well, then there wasn't really internet, it's all more internet now. But also, there's so much information out there now that there's never a time when you say, I don't know. It's just a case, I just need to find out. And like I said, and now, we're in a situation where we need to adapt. You need to adapt, I need to adapt, because if you don't adapt, you die. And that we've seen that in a lot of businesses, like Woolworths, Blockbusters didn't adapt, and they died. And this is what I love about small businesses, especially single operators just like yourself, is it's all on you. So you need to come out and think, actually, how is it going to work for me? Because it's you. And if you don't do it, no one's going to do it. And that's where I think, it's interesting to be in this place right now. Right. So what I'm going to sort of talk about is moving forward from sort of business and about your life today, right? So what do you think inspires you today?
Inspires me being where I am with 4 children, an active mom.
Yeah. I know children are a big part of your life. Family is a big part of your life, and I've seen that. You come from a big family, not just your own, with siblings and your mum and dad, but cousins, and now you're part of another big family, your husband's family. So you've always been sort of like more. I've seen you more of like a maternal character. What I mean, you like to look after people, you like to make sure everyone's all right, and that nurturing side of you. And I've always seen that. So when you see your children grow because of the love you've put into that energy, you've put into your household, you've seen your husband happy and those things, that's one thing because of the life you live. But what do you think makes you happy? Not just from seeing other people, but from things you do for yourself.
For me, I think it's the way I conduct and operate in myself. If I'm happy within myself, I think everything around will operate smoothly. I have patience, I have a lot of tolerance, and I think that keeps me going. And that, like I say, that atmosphere, I never wake up sad, I never wake up doom and gloom. And I think health and well-being, if that all is at a high peak, you have your ups and downs, but if that's at a high peak, then everything will follow, and that's what inspires, is as well being around happiness, being around people that give you happiness, and then obviously you resonate with that, and it just keeps your mindset thinking above, you know, and to keep
And I
growing,
think,
really.
yeah, and I think, you know, something I've noticed about you is that you're quite an open person. What I mean by that, you, you're
Sorry,
not scared.
Bhavik?
Open. You're an open
Oh,
person. What I mean by that is that you're, if someone says something to you, and you know, and you see as, you know what, there's something that maybe I need to work on myself, or actually that's nice, let me take that in. You accept both sides without holding, you know, like a heavy heart. So someone said something bad or something said a negative or positive. It's a case of, actually, you know what, probably I do need to work on that. So let me do that. Or actually, thank you for saying that, and that's helped me, and that helped me. Do you know what I mean? So a lot, you know, I like that energy that you give off, because that energy is an energy of, it's like a vulnerable energy in terms of always being open. You know, you don't mind people saying, you know what, Joe, you're shit at this. And you're like, okay, and you're laughing off because you're like, you know, I do know, I know I'm shit and I'm working at it, and that's cool. But a lot of people can take that quite negatively, you know, and say, actually, I'm not talking to you anymore because you said this. Whereas yours has always been a sense of, you know what, actually, I probably agree with that, you know, and I like that because it shows an honesty. And I think when you have, because you're, like I said, you're a mother, your wife, you're a sister, and when you have an energy like that around you, it shows you there's a humility, that you have humility about you, that you don't need to be this big person or someone who's always right. Just be truthful and honest. And I think that's the energy you give off to your kids. Is that what, would you see that in yourself?
Oh, absolutely, Bhavik, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I'm not one for confrontation. I'm a very sensitive person, and if somebody did say anything as such to me, I think I can't bite and argue and defend immediately. I'm one of these people, or somebody will say something, and I'll go home and think, oh, I wish I said this and I wish I said that. But it's fine. You know what? Let me take it in a different way. I think of it differently, and I think that's one thing I think I get from my mum. And my mum's a lot like that, you know.
Yeah.
She, you know, I think that's where those kind of traits come from, is, you know what, leave it, you know, let it be. It is, you know, that's their bad, you know, it's not your bad. What have you done? You've not done nothing wrong. And if you take it that way, you know what, nothing will hurt you, you know.
And I think it's your intention as well, because you know your intention is never to hurt anyone. Your intention is never to be, you know, spiteful or, you know, vindictive. When you know your intention is that, you know, you can always have an open heart. It's like when you give money. You know, if someone comes in like, oh, we collect for charity and you give £1, whatever you get, right? It's not up to you to know where that pound's going, because that's up to them. If they want to go down the pub and drink it down there, that's fine, that's up to them. Because you've given it with a good heart, you can always let that go. And it's, you know, I've always believed that energy always comes back to you. There, you know, people like you, the world looks after. There's always going to be a protection barrier around you, because we need people like you. Do you know what I mean? And that's always, I think you should always have that hope and that understanding in yourself that, you know, life will always be all right. No matter, you know, I'm sure you've been through dark times. There's been lows where you think, shit, this is just fucking tough, man. But somehow you'll always find a way around, whether it's people around you, whether it's just your own thinking, whether it's just a case of actually, you know what, I'm going to let that go and just, you know, whatever happens, happens. And I think it's a great, you know, thing to have in your own mind, to say, you know what, I know I'll always be all right, because I live my truth and I'm always honest. And I can see that in you.
Yeah, and like you said, honesty, being true to yourself is being true to everybody around you, you know, and honesty as well. And yeah, they're the kind of, having that, you know, having that mind frame, nothing can break you, because you're thinking that, you know.
Yeah. And I think, you know, something you mentioned earlier about your parents. So when you were growing up, obviously your siblings, your parents in Luton. Now, how do you think your parents, both your mom and your dad, influenced you to be the person you are today?
Well, obviously, with a lot of people who don't know my parents, my dad at a very, very young age of 33 ended up with a severe stroke and had a disability for 40 years. So growing up, having a disabled father, and then for my mum at the time was only 27, to deal with what happened to my dad. It was for her make or break. Me and my brother and sister were very young and were, brought up, and looked after by my grandparents, my dad's parents. So growing up was tough, because all we ever knew is that we had a disabled father. But as we've got older and older, my dad had that, a lot of, I think, how can I say, he was a strong person, but because of his disability, it very much came in the way. So it was difficult, and for me, like growing up, it was, again, like with many Asian children, it was like, go to study, learn, get a degree, but at the same time, for girls in the kitchen, you've got to cook, you're going to get married. But, my mum and dad, regardless of what they went through, were strong. My mum was very strong. My dad made my mum strong. In every family, you have your ups and downs, you have your turmoils, trials, tribulations, but you get through it. And when I first told my parents when I left school, I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to do further education. Academically, I didn't think I had that ability. Although I laugh now and I tell my children that I actually have an O-level in chemistry. At the time, we did O-level or CSE, and O-level is quite a high grade. So I always say, I want to be a lab technician and be in science. But because I never had the academia in me, I thought, no way, I can't do this. But I told my parents I want to be a hairdresser. My dad was like, are you serious? You want to be a hairdresser? What kind of job is that? I said, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. And I fulfilled it. My mum and dad supported me. I worked in Luton locally. Matter of fact, I did a YTS. At the time, it's called a youth training scheme. People said, oh my God, you don't get money for that. I said, well, you're going to college. You're not even getting paid. I am, but I'm still getting the skill. And, I can say 30 years on, I'm still doing hairdressing. And my mum and dad supported that all the way. They supported me. And I think my dad, obviously, 2 years ago, he passed away. He was proud that I became a hairdresser. And when I set this room, this salon up in the studio in my home, he said, I'm so proud of you. Before, do you remember when I used to say, you want to be a hairdresser? No way. What kind of job is that? Because I'm really proud of you. I think even when I worked in London and travel, I used to commute every day to Luton, do a 15-minute journey every single day, come home, have my dinner, and I'll be out doing mobile hairdressing. I was single, independent. I could do what I like. Food was given, served at me as soon. Mum would say, oh, eat, go on, you got to go out. I'm like, yeah, I've got clients, Mum, Dad, and they supported that. And with their influence and their support, the best they could, and only what they knew, is where I'm at today, really.
And I think, I knew your dad as well. And I think what knocked him a lot, because from what I understand, I didn't know him before his disability, but I knew he was quite a larger than life character, being a part of things and, being given that huge, when he had the stroke and when he was immobile for a while, and then he sort of got his mobility, but not ever to the point it was. And not being able to work, I think, as a man being in that generation, I can see how that would have dented his pride, and it would have knocked him for six. And having your mum there still continually supporting him, I knew your dad, how much your mum meant to your dad just by the way they looked after each other. Do you know what I mean? And your mum, all I saw was strength, because I never saw her down, because obviously we only saw little bits of her, but she knew, what, I chose to marry this man and I'm choosing to stay by his side. And I think that in relationships is, first of all, rare these days. I see so much where people just give up so easily, or I don't get on because, we have different phones now, so I'm not even going to, I'm not going to try anymore. I don't like it, and things like this. And that hurts me though, because when you enter into a relationship, yourself, you've been married a while as well, that we have our times, we are two independent people, and you get into this thing called marriage, and then you're like, fuck man, how do I deal with all this energy that's going on? I'm my own person, I'm dealing with this. he's because he's doing this, and then we're trying to sort of find a middle ground somewhere. And at times it's like, this is fucking hard. This is hard. You know what I mean? No one's given us a book to read to say, this is how we do this. You know what I mean? And then the key word for me has always been compromise. And it's always about compromise. And that ability just to fight. You know, where you say, you know what? I've seen something in this person. That's why I got married in the first place. And even though it might not be what I thought at that point, somehow I'm going to fight. And fighting for me means compromise. Fighting for me means actually not always getting in my way, but saying, actually, what do you want? And that middle ground where you give and then they give, and then you reach that point where, you know, even like Versha, you know, that's your cousin. But I know we've been through a journey where it was hard for a long time because both of us were quite strong characters in our own way. And then to find that middle ground, it's only been probably 3 or 4 years where we've really become comfortable in our own space, where we're now pushing each other to grow. So up until that point, you know, I've got a strong family background. She moved from Leicester to, you know, from Leeds to Leicester, and she did the same move as you. And being in a city where you only have your husband and his family, no one really, you don't have any friends or anything like that, it's hard. And you went through the same thing. And just getting through that mindset and saying, actually, you know what, this is worth it. Somehow it's worth it. I can't see it right now, but I just have to deal with this. And I hope, you know, people, you know, if you talk about relationships and talk about marriage, you know, people that are treading on that path right now. So, you know, if you know someone that maybe girlfriend, boyfriend that do want to get married and or maybe not, you know, their partners, and they're thinking, maybe I do want to step in marriage, but I'm not sure. What kind of conversation do you think they should be having before they decide?
In a strong relationship, I'd say for anybody right now in this generation, like you said, you know, like how our parents were, is compromise. And we're not all perfect. Yeah. You can't expect your husband to be the way you want him to be, or like vice versa. You know, everyone's traits are different, and you have to learn to understand that. And yeah, like you said, we have had our ups and downs, but to get to where we are at now, you know, I stand by him, yeah. You know, yeah. And I feel proud and happy to say that he's my husband, because, you know, he understands me. And you know what? It's not just now. 21 years of marriage just doesn't end here. We've got still a lot of growing to do, yeah. Understanding to do, you know. And only recently I said to Sats, you know, is there times when I get on your nerves? Just like children argue, you know, like my kids argue, oh, you're so annoying, and I'm thinking, we can be like that. It's because we are in each other's pockets all day, every day. You know, you go work, I do my work, but we are together 24/7, all around each other. This is it. This is our life. But to understand each other, you know, you've got to learn and compromise. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and it will get you. You know, you can't give up over an argument. He said this or she said that, and that's it. I'm falling out with you. I'm going to my mum's, or, you know, we need a break. It don't work like that. You know? And often, you know, arguments or disagreements, talk about it. Yeah. You know, don't go to sleep over it and feel like you go to bed with that absolute anger and frustration, because you know what? That could have been the last time you've seen your other half, and the next morning you just don't know. So sort out your differences, you know. Honestly,
I think the keyword is communication, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? At that heat of the moment, you can say the worst things, yeah, but you don't mean it. Unless you're in an absolute bad marriage and you think enough is enough. But you know what? If you're absolutely in a really good marriage, you know what? A good argument makes you closer. I tell you that, a good argument makes you closer, because you understand. You know. Sometimes it's not. It could even be the case where you don't actually want to talk about a certain thing, or you want to address something. It might build up, and you just think, you know what? At that time, you've just blown over and thinking, oh, do you know what? It's a sigh of relief. I'm glad I've said that. Now you can move on, and you can talk about it, and it's made you grow together again. You know.
And I think being a man, I think. One skill that I've never really mastered was, especially between us, was communication. And in terms of that, as in saying how I really felt. A lot of the time it was like we get into some kind of altercation and then I will just go lockdown. Because one thing I have is I don't have the ability, I don't get angry, I don't shout. What I do is reflect. So I think, why is this person saying this to me? And then I go into my own mind and sort of process, right? And Versh used to hate that because she's like, I don't know what you're actually thinking because you just then shut down. And then because you shut down, where do you go? There's no argument as such as in, raising voice and things like that. But sometimes that's even worse because you don't actually know what's happening. And therefore, so more recently, it's a case of I built this because it was a more or less a muscle I had to build in terms of just saying what I think. Sometimes it doesn't come out right, but she gets the intention. And when she, because Versh is very much more sort of heart driven, and she'll just say it as it is. And I have to sometimes deal with it, and sometimes I'll respond back. And what I've learned is that we have our little tennis match, so she'll throw both me, I'll throw my tennis, and then eventually it's just because we've said what we need to say, and then because we love, understand, and care for each other, we say that's it, that's done. We're not going to speak about that anymore. It's finished, and then we just carry on. And literally within a few minutes, we're back to normal again.
Yeah.
And I like that because we both know where we stand, and it's like you said, we don't go sleep on it because that's, I think, probably the worst thing you can do, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know what, as well, to see a strong relationship, it's your children that are seeing that.
Yeah.
And that's where they're learning. If you're constantly bickering, arguing that, the kids are thinking, whoa, is that what marriage is about? No, it's not. You have to get through it to get to where you are. And, children understand. They're smart. And that's what you've got to portray in them, that you go through this to get to where you are,
We've talked about love for other people. So you've talked about love for your kids, love for your parents, love for your husband. What does self-love mean to you?
Self-love to me is being happy, the happiness within me. One thing that always will stay with me is my dad's words to his dying days were, don't worry, be happy.
Mm.
And you know what? The situation we're in right now and everything else, I've not worried because I, within myself, am happy. And if my aura is happy, everything around will flow.
Yeah.
And that is my self-love. Yes, I do mention the children a lot, my family, but it stems from within myself,
And I think when you can, I see things, when you say you're happy, right? So you do things that make you happy. You see things, maybe you shape your environment to make sure you are happy, right? Because when you're happy, that aura and that energy you give off, words, you don't need to speak and you don't need to say anything. You see it. I see in people and I feel people more now. So what I mean by that is, it's less about what someone's saying to me, but it's more about how they come across. And that energy I feel now. So I can walk into a room and sense, you probably can as well. When things are not right, there's a feeling. It just doesn't feel right. Or when there's a real feeling of joy, like you can walk into a room, say there's lots of people there, there's lots of happiness. It might not be from the words that have been said, but you just feel that energy. And I think as we get older, we become more sensitive to that, and we know that, you know what, that's all life is about, isn't it? It's being in that sense where I feel, first of all, comfortable in my own skin, that this is who I am, with the negatives and the positive and the flaws and all the things that maybe not great, but then these are all the things that make it great, and that combines it into this thing called me. And because I'm comfortable with that, I know that I can accept it when someone says, you're shit at it, fine. I probably am, and I'm cool with that. Or, actually, Joe, I like this about you. And you can actually take that on and say thank you and not feel like, actually, I feel a bit, awkward someone saying, something about me. So self-love, like you said, unless you are happy, that will never come across because you're always going to be in confusion. You're always going to think, actually, this makes me happy. No, it doesn't. This makes me happy. No, it doesn't. And it's that time you invest in yourself where you're alone, where you can be with yourself and say, actually, do you know what? I like it when I'm just sitting, I have my cup of tea and I just get time to think. And that is happiness. Someone else is, I want to fly away and, go traveling for 6 months. That's happiness. And whatever it is for you, I think everyone just needs to find that. And the only way for me, which I've understood, is when you're in those moments by yourself, having time to think, having time to more or less marinate your brain and your soul to think, what is the best marinade for me that will make sure my juices flow with happiness? And like you said, the analogy of cooking, you need to marinate something for a long time for it to really taste good. I think that's the same with us and our lives. So if we talked about your skills as a hairdresser right now. So everyone's at home right now. I know I am in desperate need of a haircut. So what kind of things what kind of advice and tips can you give to anyone who's at home at the moment that can't get to hairdresser, can't do anything, that can just look after themselves a little bit? Maybe not cutting, but just some kind of care that they can give to their hair to make sure it stays in good condition until they can get someone like you.
Right. Obviously, being a lot of time not being able to get to the hairdressers, and unfortunately for myself, I wasn't able to supply to any of my regular clients, my loyal clients. I couldn't supply anything because insurance doesn't cover us. There was lots of speculation, and all sorts that, opening, and you can do this, you can do that. But for me, staying at home and advising to people is avoid anything that you buy externally, only purely because of the fact that there's a lot of anxiety within people for all sorts of reasons being at home. So a lot of allergies and skin reactions can occur at any given time. So do avoid any chemicals in your hair. But one thing to do is look after your hair by nourishing it, eating well, putting good oils in your hair, and just give it time to breathe. You don't need to look glamorous. It doesn't matter. You're at home. You don't need to put heat on it or curlers or whatever. Yeah, if you're we had lots of fun over this lockdown and did lots of stuff and created lots of memories. And those few days, my girls, we all did our hair. But yeah, that was fun. But every day, just nurture it and nourish it. You don't really need to. I get calls every day or messages from, oh, can I put dye in my hair? Can I do this? Can you supply me this? No, you can't. I'll be honest with you, it's what are we now? 8 weeks into lockdown?
Yeah.
I've not done my hair. I've got roots. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We're all in the same boat. Yeah. I've got my room here. I've got all the equipment. I've got everything. I am not touching my hair. I'm supporting my clients. I'm supporting the world. Yeah. Have grey hair. Who cares? Yeah. Embrace natural beauty. Who cares? It doesn't matter. You know what? We're going to be out of lockdown, all in good time. Do what you need to do then. But in the meantime, just nurture and natural. Put natural remedies not only on your hair but within yourself. Eating lots of, hydrating. Eating fresh vegetables, fruit. So I know it's hard to say, oh yeah, get all the shopping. Unfortunately, I don't even go out shopping because my husband isn't. He's shopping all the time. He's absolutely fed up. But you know what? He has a shopping list every day. But we're eating well, we're exercising and whatnot. But look after your hair. This is the time you're only going to get.
And I think something you mentioned there is and again, that self-care comes to self-love as well. Where you look after yourself, where you, like I said, you eat well, your nutrition good, you exercise, you make sure the fuel that's going inside you is feeding your mind well as well. Because I think, like you said, all these things make a difference to your, more or less a lot of the time, your outside appearance is a reflection of your inner self. So if your skin starts getting bad, your hair starts bad, a lot of the time you have to look within. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I under too much stress? Am I, and these, like you probably see yourself with clients, there'll be certain things that you'll even notice and say, actually, are you looking after yourself? And it's those questions that are important as well, because it's not just about what you look on the outside. I think it's more important how you look on the inside, and then the outside just more or less follows suit. Would you say that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, I eat well. I love food. I'm absolutely. That's another passion for me is food. I'm a real foodie. I love cooking, but healthy ingredients. Cook well. I don't have a fridge full of oven food. Never have done. Not grown up eating that kind of food. But even then, for my children, healthy eating. We you know, I remember listening to your podcast a few weeks back, I think with Helder, and you saying that on the dining table, salad was standard.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if a carrot sticks, cucumbers, whatever, that is standard for us. Even if it's English food, Indian food, anything, any food, salad, vegetables is a must. And you know, every morning for me, a must is for my children, even if I don't munch on it, is every school day, or even now, is whatever fruit there is cut there. You walk past, you'll munch on it. So healthy eating is important. Yeah, we do. I'm not going to lie, I'm not that overly healthy, and I'm not. Yeah, I do have binge eating, and but that's life. As long as I know I've had that little binge, no, back on track. I exercise, Versha. I follow Versha with our kettlebells, and you know what? She gets me on form. And I've got 4 children. I have to maintain my stamina, my ability, and my health and exercise. If I don't do that, I can't be young with my children. I need to keep on going. So yeah, it's important. Healthy eating absolutely is important, and a well-being of exercise as well.
And I think being in the sort of the profession you're in, I think the important, like you said, is these little habits that you have that not only, because you are, in most households, the mum is the center of the household, as in making sure everything works, right? And that doesn't mean that dads can't be. It's just generally what I see around me, moms tend to be the center. Now, what that means is that for your kids to be strong, I know I have to be strong. For the house to have love, I know I need to emit love. And just those kind of conversations, those kind of thoughts, those kind of energies that go through you, and especially even with your clients, so you have people sitting in your chair, and I'm sure you hear all the whole life stories about lots and lots and lots of people, right? And about everything going through. And what's interesting is that when you're a strong person, so you have some authority, and what I mean by that is that those conversations that happen with you, first of all, they're private, so they trust you, and they know that you are someone that will give maybe an honest opinion or no opinion at all. Some people just don't want to talk. But if you can, because they're in a passive state of mind, and what that means is that because they're listening to you without a second thought, a lot of the stuff you say is going in. So if you live your life well, if you listen to good stuff, if you're living your life in a certain way which serves you, and you pass that information on to your clients, that will go in. And continuously, if and that's the importance of what you do, because you are in a position of authority where you see a lot of people one-on-one, and they trust you. And when you trust someone, you're more likely to be open. And when you're more likely to open, not just to say what you want to say, but listen as well. It's like when someone is not ready, no matter what you say, they're never going to hear you. And then one thing, when they're ready, you could say the same thing again, and suddenly something goes in. And I think that's important with you, Joe, in terms of your position where you are, is you continue to be the strongest you can, because the more you invest in yourself, you're investing on everyone around you. And that's all the people that come in contact with you, your own family, your own, everyone. And even though you may not see it like that, I do, because I know the importance. Like I was talking to Hina, my hairdresser, and she said the same thing. It's so important that I'm the strongest person I can be, because I can influence so many people around me just by sitting in my chair. And they were talking about this, government were talking about this in terms of getting people, talk to people like hairdressers, because people do listen, because they're in that mindset that, I trust this person. When you trust someone, you're more likely to take in what they say. So I would say, just keep investing in yourself, because I think that's really important. So
absolutely. Yeah, I was just going to say, like for us, before years ago, hairdressers were very undermined. We were just the hairdresser. Yeah. But moving on, and evolving as a hairdresser, we don't have just the skill of cutting hair. We have a mindset of counselling, listening, and talking. And, there's times when I've been in the salon, first clients walked in, don't know her from Adam, never met her, and they pour their heart out to you. And you think, whoa, you know what? We've not even started a hot hair yet. Whoa, hold on a minute. And they'll be like, oh my God, I've never told anyone this, and I've just told you. And you know what? That really inspires me, because I think, wow, do you know what? You've just told me your dark secret or whatever it is, and it's not gossip to me. The next person's walking in, I'm not going to say, oh, guess what? Joe Bloggs just came in and I've just told, she's just told me all this, that and the other. Do you know what? That's personal. What stays in the walls will always, you know, what's been told to me in these walls will stay in these walls and within me. I once heard somebody saying to me, oh, somebody's secret is not your secret, so you can tell anyone. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. If somebody's told you a secret, that is their secret, so keep it. They've trusted you. So do you know what? Don't break that trust. So for me, it's not gossip. And again, like you said, the well-being. If my well-being is at its form, then my clients will feel comfortable. They'll trust me. And matter of fact, you know, after having 4 children and I wasn't the slimmest person, but I've worked on looking and feeling good, and my clients see that. And you know what? A lot of clients and people, you know, not only clients, but friends, family, whatever, oh, how did you manage? And I tell them, you know, I've got nothing to hide. I don't believe in fad diets and all that, but it's, again, mindset changing. When you change your mindset on the way you eat and the way you operate, automatically things will follow. So for me, when clients come in and they are, you know, they feel inspired by me, it motivates me to tell them my journey, and almost motivates me more to keep going. You know, I'll tell somebody that wants to lose a couple of pounds or whatever. I've told them that today, for example, today I'm like, well, I've told her I need to practice that as well. So it keeps you going, you know, it motivates you even more. And it makes you, because the next time I see that person, they will say to me, oh my God, I really tried that. Thanks a lot. You know, and they appreciate, you know, and to share knowledge and share a bit of information, it doesn't hurt. You know, if you're helping somebody, you're helping yourself.
And it's funny because even this, one of the reasons I wanted to start this conversation was just exactly what you said, Laura, at the end, is that first of all, I like to talk anyway, and I think it's where when these conversations happen, I get so much more than the person that I'm talking to. Do you understand? So I can talk to you, and everyone who's finished this and said, you know what, I'm buzzing now. After just speaking and speaking my truth, I feel alive. Do you know what I mean? If I feel religion, and I said, that's how you. And what about how I feel? I probably feel more than what you do, because you know, this is what drives me as well. And it's these conversations, these natural conversations, like that bring an energy not just out of the 2 people that are talking, but the ripple effect of all the people that listen as well. And I think when 2 people speak their truth, there's nothing else apart from truth that comes out. And it's not about me looking good or you looking good, because that doesn't help anyone. What serves is when someone says, you know, I'm pretty shit at this, and if someone could help me, I'd really appreciate it. When someone says something like, you're like, I like you. Sorry, and you're like, because that's what life is. You know, I've always said, right, you know, everyone is on their own struggle, right? No matter what anyone says, no matter what the veneer looks like on the outside of this wonderful life, behind those closed doors, everyone's in their own struggle. And a lot of the struggle is in their own mind, because their circumstances are not showing that. It's just what they're going through themselves. And when you understand that, you always have a little bit of space to say, actually, you know what, I'll give you some peace, because I think if I can do something that helps you a little bit, then it's been worth it for me. Me taking this time out to, you know, spend this time, and you know, even when this finishes, I spend a lot of time post editing and make sure it looks right, because I want the message to come across, and I want it to not just sound the best, look the best, but have the biggest impact. And by having the biggest impact, I will hopefully even affect 1 or 2 people. The amount of messages I've got since I've started this is huge, and that spurs me on even more, because I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for me, even though I am. I'm doing it so that I can hopefully help the people around me, because I know if I can shine my light bright, the people around me can shine their light bright as well for the people around them. And if they can be the best people and I can help them on that path, you know, that serves me, that nurtures me. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, from all the things you said about people sitting in chairs, what would you say, if you believe you have one, what would you say is your superpower?
Patience and tolerance. Patience and tolerance is my superpower. You know,
because it's a skill, and when why I would agree with you in terms of, first of all, your superpower, because I know you and I agree with that. Secondly, is that patience is a skill that's becoming less and less obvious for younger people, especially. It's turned into this Instagram flips, flip right generation or swipe right generation. Everything, I think of it today and I want it yesterday. But hold on, you've just thought of it today and you've lived, 20 years of your life and suddenly you want something yesterday and you've just thought of it today. The things I found that helped me a lot is the things that have taken time. The things that, like you said, to get to your salon, you had to go through your kitchen, then you had to go through, the bathtub and the sink. And then when you actually got your salon, you're like, I can look back at my journey and think, wow, I didn't even think this was possible at the start. And then it makes it all worth it, right? Because there was patience in it, that it just, shit's going to take time. Just let it take time. And then and it's not about where you get to, it's the person you become along the journey, right?
Of course. But everything's a journey. It's like you can't get to Scotland in 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
We're not ready to see with the way technology, right?
No, you have to break down. You got to stop off at a service station at some point. You know what I mean? So you know what? Your journey starts with tolerance, patience, and one thing. My superpower is definitely patience and tolerance, and that's where how I've got to where I'm at. Really,
Yeah. And what would you say there's still a skill that you need to master, learn, or grow to be a better version of yourself?
Believe in myself. Believe more in myself for who I am and what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Especially on my business side of things. I am not just a hairdresser, but I want to educate more. I said to myself, sort of like these past few weeks, I need to be more business minded, but that doesn't mean just make a business plan, but I need to be a bit more structured in the way I cut hair fantastically. I'm passionate and creative in what I do. I love the whole science of coloring and the technical work of stuff, but I need to enhance more and build on that. Definitely build more on the business side of things and educate myself more.
And how do you think that's going to happen?
Well, right now I'm in a fair few groups. There's a lot of education out there, while we're a lot of people in the same position as me, as myself, who are probably more advanced in the industry or have had different levels of experience, but I'm learning from them. And you know what, the time is now, because obviously when we get back to work, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be packed out with clients. I'm going to be doing the job that the doctors and the NHS and the key workers doing right now. I'll be probably that person after lockdown, whenever it does happen. So if I have to work round the clock, I'm there, man. I'm on it. I can't wait. I'm buzzing. That's one thing as well, is I like working under pressure. I love pressure. I work better and I get the job done, and that fulfills me. Gives me adrenaline, gives me a buzz.
And I think that's something similar we have in terms of when things become too comfortable, there's a little bit too much time, I think my brain starts becoming lazy. When I'm back to the wall and I have to fucking work shit out, then I come out fighting, and then that brain is like, come on, boy, you can do this, right? But when like yourself, when things become a bit too comfortable, you're like, my brain starts becoming lazy. I don't like that. So I get exactly what you're saying. And like I said, when you're under pressure, you don't have time to think. You just do. You know what I mean? And that, I think some people are opposite, right? Some people need a day to work shit out. I need like 10 minutes. I'm ready to go, man. Let's deal with this. You know what I mean? So that my planning ability is probably poor in terms of, I don't like to plan too far ahead because I work on the ball. I like to just roll with it. Do you know what I mean? But if then I put that in, if I learn that skill and put that in, I think I'll probably be better at a lot more things. So we will have our paths, we will have our areas that we still need to grow. So now, funnily, we're towards the end of our conversation now. Okay. So there's a couple more questions I get the listeners to understand you as a person a little bit more, and just how things sit deeply with you. So now what we've done is we've reached the end of your life. you've got to 160 years old. You've done everything you want to do. You've inspired all these people. You've created a whole load of videos. You've done, you've touched a lot of people with you, not just your skill, but your love and your humility. And now you've got the people around you that you want to be there, and you've not got enough energy to speak, but you've got enough energy to write 3 words. Now, these 3 words have helped you in your life and have resonated with you, and they're just 3 words that you'd like to share with the people around you to take away with them to maybe learn and nurture a little bit more themselves, that maybe help them in their lives. What do you think those 3 words will be for you?
3 words for me would be patience, happiness, and strength. You've got the patience to do things, and happiness within yourself, around you, and strength. Be strong within yourself, and you can conquer the world. They're my 3 things.
Perfect. And I think, like you said, also strength comes from within, but it comes from outside as well. So again, if you can surround yourself with where you don't have strength so much yourself, you can learn a lot from a lot of people around you and try and pick off little bits that can help you. So yeah, definitely. And I think those 3 things will resonate with a lot of people. So thank you for that. And the last question now is, this podcast is called Bigger Than the Hustle, and right now you're bigger than the world. So I've sourced a microphone. That microphone is connected to 7.58 billion people in this world. They're all listening. They're all awake. There's no language barrier, so they understand everything you're saying. And I'm going to hand you that mic for 30 seconds. Now, in that 30 seconds, I want you to share a message with the world about yourself, or about how you can help them maybe make their life a little bit easier.
For me, around the world, everyone's listening. Don't worry, be happy. Happiness is within yourself. You create the happiness around you, the world will be happy. Follow your dreams, have passion, aspirations, follow them. And what else? You just follow your path. Keep smiling. Have patience, have tolerance. Be the better of you. And
perfect.
Fulfill your life.
Perfect. And live your truth, right?
Pardon?
Live your truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Have respect for all ages, regardless of age, gender, and relation. Have respect.
Perfect. So thank you so much. So first of all, I'd just like to acknowledge you, Joty. Thank you so much. I know you were super, super, super nervous the amount of time you messaged me. And I hope, we've shown that, you just need to step to the edge of your comfort zone to grow. And hopefully this is going to help you grow as well. So thank you for being the person you are. Thank you for the humility you give. Thank you for the love you show. I acknowledge that, and I've sensed that a long time. And we all need people like you. There's a part of you that's in me, and I've always said everyone around me that means something to me, I take a little bit away. And I know the humility, your patience, the way you love, and the way you keep your heart open for everyone around you. I think it's important that people see that and they live by that as well. So thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you, Bhavik. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This has been an absolute wonderful experience. Experience is key. Yes, I was very nervous, but you know what? Like you say, a conversation just flows, and you ask the questions, you answer the questions, and
and it's your life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Be surrounded and with people with the same kind of energy, and this is what our universe needs.
Yeah,
we need to be inspired by love and good energy, and that's what you're doing. And good luck to you, Bhavik. All the best. Well.
But like I said, it's all the people. The reason that I can do this is because of people like you around me that allow me to have these conversations. And I knew the sole thinking behind it initially was, I have so many good people around me and so many good conversations I have. I want other people to hear that, because I know it will help so many people out there. So thank you for being part of this journey. So What I'll do is I'll at the end of this, I'll hook up Joey's details on the show notes. If you do want to contact her, you need a haircut or just a chat, I'm sure she'll be ready to help you after this lockdown is finished. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you've taken something away, and even if it's a little bit, it's been worth it. So just remember, big energy leads to big thinking. Big thinking leads to big ideas. Big ideas lead to big actions. Big actions lead to a big life. So keep thinking big. Until next week, see you later.
Oh, I just think you have to follow your heart. You just have to believe in what you feel inside. Follow that passion. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams.